Alright, you guys, today we are back playing 1000 Lies. So yeah, we're just going to get back into what we were doing here. I'm hoping to finish this soon. This is a lot longer than I thought it would be, but oh well. Oh my, so you weren't lying when you said it was a great place. Aside from the dust, it seems new. How is it possible that nobody has taken any of the stuff? They left in a hurry. Just like the rest of the urbanization plan, they probably ran out of money to collect everything. Or they thought they'd continue in the future and I forgot about it. Who knows? Point is, this place is pretty far away and secluded. Nobody ever comes here. It's like my own personal hideout. Don't tell anyone, or that'll be the end of my luck, okay? And don't wander too far in here. The other wing isn't really in the best condition, so it's dangerous. You already told me that 1,000 times on the way here. Yeah, I'll be careful. But the rest is amazing. It could even be open in this state. There's already furniture and even some books over there. This wing of the building was open for a limited time before they abandoned it. Almost everything remained here, so that's a good thing for us, I guess. I just realized I don't have this full screen. Okay, that's dumb of me. Sorry. In any case, looks can be deceiving. There's no maintenance and most of this stuff is broken somehow. So it's not really safe. For that reason, I only use the library. But back to my point. I've fulfilled my part, so now you don't have to draw in an uncomfortable playground in the middle of nowhere. Lucy nods at everything I say, although her expression obviously expresses that that's weird. Okay, weird choice of words in my opinion. That she's thinking about something else as she circles around the table in the room. She stands still with her eyes fixated at a large window and begins talking to me. Tell me, you've seen my drawings. What do you think about them? My sincere opinion? Lucy nods again. You're good. Not the best I've seen, but I'm convinced that you've got something special. I'd like to ask you to never write anything in your life again, though. I see. The concepts are still interesting, though, especially considering how hard it is to draw fantasy without any references. I think you have talent, but need a bit more practice. I'm no expert, though. Seriously? You think I have talent? Lucy sighs in relief and then shoots me a skeptical look. She turns around, making eye contact with me, wearing a new serious and intimidating demeanor. Nobody has ever told me that I have talent before, not sincerely at least. Yeah, some people tell me that I draw well, others just make comments about it. Truthfully, I've never fully committed myself to drawing. Doodling in the margins of notebooks isn't really drawing. The expectations between the two are completely different. And when you try to do something real, something unique, it turns out not being any different from the sketch in the margin. How can you show that to anyone else when you can't even face the reality of it yourself? Then you start tirelessly repeating, I only need to practice. But it doesn't matter how long you spend, the improvement is minimal. And 2 days after you meet someone who has never drawn anything in his life, you finally learn not to mistake compliments with real talent. How can I show anything I've drawn to anyone? There's no way I could proudly talk about the work I've spent weeks creating when someone else could draw the same thing in several minutes. When can I say that I've finally learned to draw? When will I finally be able to show off my masterpiece? The worst is how, even when you find an artist who's worse than you, it turns out that they just have their own style. Even if you don't understand the difference between style and talent, you have to believe them anyways, because you're really a nobody. Your self-esteem gets crushed because you don't have the privilege of doubt. And who's to say they're wrong? Did I do something to earn that privilege? Only kids would make an argument with a phrase as trivial as, I don't care what others say, because you know what? They do matter. They do matter so much because the only way to truly see yourself is in the reflection given to us by others. You learn to imitate, improve from criticism, and help others improve in return. From our taste to our maturity, everything depends on our relationships with others, and denying it because it's convenient is wrong. After all, I thought I was a good artist whenever someone would tell me that they liked my meaningless doodles. Why would I turn a deaf ear to the truth during the hard times? It would be unfair to me. But there's nothing that can prepare you for the bitter taste that real justice leaves behind. Lucy folds her arms, her eyes unsure whether they want to express pride or embarrassment for finally revealing her true feelings. But she pushes her feelings aside and resumes speaking in spite of my total astonishment and in spite of the unexpected context of her speech. Now you know the reason as to why I don't like telling anyone about my little hobby. It's no more than that, just a pastime. I don't want to mention it because if someone tells me that I have talent, if someone encourages me to go for the next level, then I have to carry the weight of the consequences. Don't you think it's better for me to try to find the motivation to continue on my own? My true talent? Lucy looks confused after her last rhetorical question. She shakes her head a bit, switching out her sullen face for the usual smug smile I'm used to seeing. And now you've gone and dared to tell me I have talent. Look at what you've done. Given me hope and everything. How am I supposed to react? Oh yeah, I have an idea. How about I read this aloud? Reaching into her pocket, Lucy retrieves something. It's rectangular and small, like a notebook, an incredibly familiar notebook. My notebook! When did you steal that? Give it back! In the car. It fell when you gave your license to the officer. It basically fell on top of me, and I couldn't resist looking at it, considering it's the infamous notebook Ziva mentions so often. When you went to return the keys, I read through it a little. Although I don't understand it at all. What is this, some kind of fairy tale? I'm so embarrassed. I try to retrieve my notebook from Lucy, but she turns her back to me and starts reading through it again. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1, The Right and the Left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time. Wait, give me that! No way, teasing you is too much fun. I finally managed to grab my notebook out of her hands. The first thing I do is check all of the pages, making sure that nothing's amiss. It's not like I've memorized each and every page, especially not when I have the habit of ripping out some of the pages. It's a bad habit I've developed, and at this point I do it without thinking. I told you about my embarrassing secrets, now you tell me yours. It's only fair. Also, I liked what I read, but I didn't have time to finish it. Do you normally write stories in your free time, or what? First, don't ever touch my stuff without my permission. Second, it's not like I'm dedicated to it. I don't even think about the stories I write. It's something I do because it happens. And what happens next in Reaching the Sun? I don't know. I just started it. You don't know? Aren't you the author of it? I sigh. It's like Lucy has to get away with everything she does, and now she's stringing me along from one place to another without giving me the time to think. I have a bad feeling about all of this, but I can see the eyes of the car thief shining in curiosity. She won't be letting me off the hook this easily. I'm not good at writing endings, you know. I have some ideas, yeah, but the more I progress through the story, the less control I have over it, until finally it ends. Reaching the Sun is a really simple and short story that I wasn't even planning on writing, so I don't know how it'll continue. Well, that's a pity. Don't leave things unfinished, man. Look, to tell you the truth, I was also about to give up on my drawing hobby not too long ago. You saw the garbage in the playground with your own eyes. I don't want to show the world something that I, myself, don't like. All those failed attempts. It's like I was saying before about motivation. I've been thinking, and maybe I need someone around who will force me to keep working. Someone by my side that forces me to do it, even if I die from embarrassment along the way, and even if I realize that I'm not cut out to be a real artist. What can I say? I couldn't think of anyone who could help me in that way. You know how everyone is. They're playing the game until they eventually toss everything aside. But now there's someone who knows my secret, and I can't do anything to hide it from him anymore. I don't know where you're going with this. Why not? The more you think about it, the harder it is to take the plunge. It's crazy, and we both know it, but it's going to happen and you can't stop it. Don't make decisions without me. I'm not going to accept that. But you already did, a while ago. I want you to continue writing your story, but from now on, it won't collect dust in your notebook. We can come here together from time to time in each other's company while we work. You on your story and me on my drawing skills. That way, maybe I can even use what you write as inspiration for my illustrations. The things we're both embarrassed about can become something we share, or our little secret. Didn't I say it before? Two people can't truly become friends until they share a secret between them. Yeah, and you almost got us killed, too. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't believe we'll be very far with your plan. Get very far. I was a total stranger not too long ago, wasn't I? A pervert, even. So what's with this sudden change of heart? It's either a hunch or insanity, or maybe I'm just tired of the usual monotony, and any excuse for change is good. And you just happen to be the first to offer that. You'll have to find a different nut to go along with your plan. Incorrect. You've already accepted, so long as you didn't lie to me earlier. John McClazy. This is my third requirement. From this moment onwards, I want us to meet up here regularly to work together. Together, we'll finish your fairy tale. Bum, bum, bum. You keep getting my name wrong on purpose to mess with me, right? 1,000 lies. God, this is a really long story, y'all. It's wearing me out how long this is. Reaching the Sun, Chapter 1. The right and the left. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. On the occasion that a wolf stops being useful to his pack, that wolf will become a solitary creature until the day it dies. There once was a wolf who couldn't, or didn't want to, find his place to rest eternally. Since then, he has been wandering the land, erasing his trail with each step, always with a melodious pace like a sad song, trying to find a glimmer of happiness. Even after leaving his footprints on more than 1,000 roads, the wolf realized he was unable to ever find happiness, for he didn't know where to look. More lost in his thoughts than on his path, he heard a great wise man exclaim that happiness came from the sun. Of course, he couldn't understand those words, nor could he ask for an explanation. Bereft of any other clues, he decided to go to the sun. It was unfortunate for the wolf that he didn't know how to get there. Getting involved in a trip like no other he had made before, he now wondered how he could solve this dilemma. However, it didn't take long for the wolf to find a possible answer to his conundrum. He came upon the wagon of a mobile circus. There are two odd characters that appeared before the wolf, a jester and a clown, or maybe a clown and a jester. One was fully dressed in white, the other in black. Their height differences was so apparent that it was impossible to make eye contact with them at the same time. "How are you, my friend?" "Friend, how are you?" The two noisy yet merry comedians exchanged gazes, smiles, and words as if they were shared one unified mind. The wolf, confused, didn't know what to say. They weren't giving him a chance to say anything. They were too caught up in each other. All the wolf managed to ask was for their names. "Her name is Right," the short black clown stated as he pointed to his partner. "His name is Left," the tall white jester stated as she pointed to her partner. "Who are you?" they asked while smiling as they both pointed at the wolf in unison. The wolf didn't hear them, or maybe chose not to. His mind was too focused on what seemed to be a hint to his mystery. Both of them looked quite happy. He thought, and their trade required them to share their happiness with the world. Maybe they knew how to reach the sun or to get closer to it. Convinced by his own reasoning, the wolf quickly asked them if they knew a way to reach the giant, flaming, shiny ball in the sky. The two opposites shrugged, surprised that the wolf would ask such a weird question. And why would you want to go so far away? They questioned him. A wolf that wants to reach the sun, Right pondered. Oh, now I know who you are. The clown and the jester huddled together, certain of the wolf's identity. What was his name, Right? It was, I got it! Right snapped his fingers. It's Squall! Why would it be that name? Left dismissed with the jester. Haiti. His name is Haiti. The two performers began arguing about the wolf's identity, forgetting about his presence. The canine, tired of their bickering, bared his fangs at them and asked for their attention. He got mad, Right? Said the short black jester, gloomily pointing at the wolf. I think we made him angry, Left, said the tall white clown, gloomily pointing to the wolf. They looked at each other and sighed in unison. Then, as if in apology, they decided to answer the wolf's question. Right stood in front of the wolf, Left behind him. The first one to speak was Right, who from that distance looked smaller than usual. To Left's right, on the other side of the sea, you could see the sun rising. The wolf turned around, Left raised her right arm, and pointed to the east. From this distance, she appeared to be even taller than before. The Right's right behind the mountains. You'll see the sun setting, said Left. The wolf turned around, Right raised his right arm in tangent, pointing to the west. If you want to reach it, then you will have to race towards Left's left, Right exclaimed. The wolf looked at Left. Left raised his left arm this time. The wolf didn't really mind running if he meant he could finally reach the sun. He wasn't the fastest in the animal kingdom. He was the wounded wolf, after all, but he considered himself fast enough to surpass the pace of the calm celestial body. It may look slow, said Left as he turned himself around. But it's the exact opposite, said Right as she turned around. Because most likely it was already won, they said before shrugging in unison. The wolf felt confused and a little angry when Right smiled as she turned her black back to him, and Left cried as he turned his white back to him. But it was as they told him, the sun always rose from one direction and fell from another. If the wolf waited behind the mountains, he could catch it as it passed. Grateful for the help he received, the wolf said goodbye to the strangers, who had only become even more strange after speaking. Waving their hands right and left, asked the wolf one last question. Which is your name, then? Squall or Haiti? The wolf sighed as he closed his eyes and gently shook his head. I'm just a wolf, he answered. So be it if that's what you wish to call me. The wolf decided to go west, behind the mountains, certain he had found the answer he had sought out. I just heard my dryer go off, sorry. But once he arrived there, he realized that the sun kept going even further behind the towns. Still, he continued chasing it beyond the towns, but the sun kept running, seeing little by little behind the fields. Next he ran through the fields, and when he finally thought he could be able to meet the sun as it was setting, he found it was even further beyond past the sea. Sorry, guys. From the shore, the wolf was unable to do anything. He felt powerless for being unable to reach the sun. Tired, he lay down on the sand, his pride crushed after discovering that the jester and the clown were right. He couldn't win against the slow sun in a race. His target had disappeared, giving away to the night, leaving only the wind and the darkness of the wolf's companions. The wolf had to seek shelter before it got too dark outside, but he was tired and in pain. He could barely move at all, and time was running short. He wondered what he could do. Everything was the sun's fault for deceiving him and running away like that. Those two silly tricksters were also at fault for not warning him beforehand. How could the sun bring happiness like this? Something so deceptive couldn't bring any joy. Night came and the wolf expected the worst as he closed his eyes, fearing any danger. But none ever came. After opening his eyes, he could see the beach perfectly illuminated by a cold and beautiful silver cloak. It was the moon. It had listened and answered the wolf's prayers, offering to him the shimmering help he had needed. The wolf was grateful, but the moon was so far away. It was difficult for her to hear the wolf. So he filled his lungs and raised his head in determination. And a resounding howl covered the sea and the skies with a feeling of gratitude. So foretold the tales that once upon a time there was a wolf without a past or memory who wanted to reach the sun. Oh, we're on chapter 3 now. How many more chapters is this? Gotta admit it. Gotta admit your guilt. Aussie tries to blind me with the light of his cell phone as if he's interrogating me. I believe I can take his cell phone and rip off his entire hand with a single bite, but I instead opt to control my cannibalistic instincts. Proof doesn't lie. You need to tell us what happened at D-Day, so I won't accept any of your pitiful excuses. What did you do with my sexy flamenca delicious? What the hell? I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't. I'm totally in favor of you using Roman titles if you're consistent about it, but that girl has her own name. I won't deny that a lot of things happened, but I have to keep it a secret. Not everything that happened was even legal. Campanero, you could get her pregnant? Wrap it up! The hell? That's indecent. Is that all you think about? Sorry guys, I'm like struggling to breathe here. I'll be okay, I promise. You're right, that's impossible. It's you we're talking about here. And if I'm involved in it, you have no chance whatsoever. At least not until after I score first. So they're talking about having sex with Lucy? Is that what they're talking about? I don't know how I feel about this. Someday we'll have to work on that mental image of me you've created. Oh, yeah. Classes ended for another day. Aussie and I leave the school together, although he falls behind a bit as he says goodbye to a few of his friends. I wouldn't mind telling Aussie the truth, but I have to tell him everything that happened, or else I'd have him thinking that I assault people. The problem is Lucy. She made me promise that I wouldn't tell anyone about our hobby and our new partnership in general, and that yes, I accepted her unreasonable deal in the end. We made that bet during the basketball match, so now I have to deal with it. What I'm not really convinced about is whether or not it's possible to hide the existence of our new meeting in the library. What am I even thinking? It's not like I actually care if anyone finds out. I'll do my part, and I won't snitch, but if someone gets suspicious, I can't stop them. Earlier, Ziva said something about going to the makeup committee meeting. The one for the grad and prom stuff, since the meeting yesterday didn't turn out so well. Aussie catches up with me after he says his goodbyes to his friends, but the vibration of his cell phone makes him pause for a second. He excuses himself and slides his thumb over the screen and discovers an enormously unwelcome surprise. Not again! Ciar! I lean my head towards my friend, feigning indifference despite having a terrible hunch about what it might be. You could possibly still be logged into my email account. This time I'll admit I left login on purpose. After what happened last time, I thought it might happen again. It did. Aussie tries to show me the screen, but instead I grab it from him directly and peer at the screen. Yes, there it is, sent only a few moments ago. Another email from the mysterious sender. Harry H. blah 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 blah. Siren da 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 da. Not for everybody. Can you accept a fake reality? There's no going back after the first step, nor can taking back what you lost to be considered winning. If after knowing the truth you can still wish to be sincere, be careful, because that will make you the greatest liar. Until forever, and good luck with the first consequence. I stand still, completely paralyzed. Finally, Aussie says what I've been thinking after he reads the contents of the email. What? That's what I'm wondering. What's the meaning of this? This email is slightly different from the other two. This time it says, until forever, which does mean going to be the last email? I guess so. I just wanted my figurine, but the first sentence clearly states that you can't take back what you lost, nor are you able to undo anything. Whoever sent this is making fun of me, saying that I'll never see her. And what's the rest supposed to mean? If you're sincere, then you'll become the greatest liar? Isn't that contradictory? The ends of the emails end until now were the same. Emails up until now were the same. Yeah. Sorry, I can't read right now. The ends of the emails up until now were the same. I don't know if I should be angry or happy that there won't be any more. All I really know is that I won't take the bait over again. I bet you won't. The mysterious remains unsolved. Without any clues or hope, maybe I should forget all about it. I've already got enough to deal with. I have to meet with Lucy in the library this afternoon again, thinking of which I still have a few hours until it's time to meet up. There's still time, but since it's my secret base anyways, I'm not going to stop using it because there's a new squatter here. I decided to head to the library early. It isn't that easy though. Once I reach the park, I run into someone who stops me in my tracks. I think the best part of going to the library is taking a short stroll through the pond. Right, it's so nice. I've been waiting here for you a couple of days. What have you been doing? A quiet stroll. Wait, I can't use the right voice. God dang it. A quiet stroll with no one to disturb me, completely alone, walking through nature and only the song of the leaves dancing through the pond. How many poets have showcased such tender moments in the lyrics of their love letters? Siren can't see me. Siren can't see me. He has gone blind. That means that I'm invisible to him right now. That means, gosh, I can't do this. Y'all, I struggle. Like, I can read, but dadgummit. That means that I'm invisible to him right now. This is the great discovery. I can't miss out on this opportunity. Ha 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 ha! Stop, it was a joke. Stop tickling me. Ha ha ha! Stop it, Claire. It's a miracle. I've cured Siren. Now he can see me. These hands have been blessed with supernatural powers, and I didn't know it. Blind people can also be ticklish, idiot, and my eyes are perfectly fine except for the myopia. But that's another story. And why do you think they're fine now? Unless you forgot about me. I've already told you that it was a joke. Really? Claire's sudden appearance doesn't surprise me. I even kind of expected her to be here. Maybe this girl's craziness is a good way for me to forget about reality. Her carefree attitude seems to make the real world melt away. Tell me something, Siren. Did you forget about me? Would you forget about me if we never met again? Hiding under her hat in embarrassment, Claire asked me a very weird question. She looks worried to hear my answer so much that it's perplexing. Look, I may forget someone else, but not you. I couldn't forget about someone as peculiar as you that easily. You can't simply erase a big weirdo from your memory, wouldn't you say? I see. Claire sighs discouragingly. It isn't the reaction I was expecting from her. My intention was the opposite, but she immediately comes back to her senses and returns to the usual Claire. I've already decided anyways. Next time, don't make me wait as long. I was worried that you were dead or something like that. You weren't totally wrong about that. I've faced death a couple of times. Couldn't it be that you're a ghost and you're already dead? You're already dead? That would explain why I couldn't see you early. You've already been over that. Let it go, please. Our conversation resembles a comedian's routine. Talking with Claire, I discover that we have more in common than just our love for the pond. Oddly enough, I'm not annoyed by our accidental meeting. We met not too long ago, so to speak, and even if it was shocking at first, now it's pretty much the opposite. She's definitely insane, yes, but it's one of those comedic instances, compared to the cruel satire that the universe frequently throws around anyways. I see, you're depressed. Where's the confident Siren I know? The one who likes to flip off innocent clouds? I'd prefer to inform you that such a Siren never existed, but I guess you aren't that far off. Let me guess, you're upset about your plans going awry. Something or someone in your life has disrupted your normally pleasant peace. It's not too big a feat to guess that since you're generalizing, but yes. Don't play hard to get. I can read you like an open book, Sierra. You can't deceive me. Don't you have an answer book there? It could be pretty useful. Maybe. Let's go for a walk and you can bring me up to date. One shouldn't trust strangers, but sometimes it's precisely the stranger to whom you can speak the most freely since you aren't restrained by social ties. Sorry, I'm disgusting. Nevertheless, when I speak with Claire, I don't feel like I'm talking to a stranger. She feels more like a lifelong friend to me. So I tell her about my troubles, even if I can call them that. as we take a stroll out of the park. Following her pace, I start vaguely describing all of the events that had transpired this week. The weird emails first, there were some first straw, blah, blah. The weird emails first, those were the first straw, and then out of the other tribulations that came after that. I skip everything that I think is no matter to mention, is better not to mention, especially things related to Lucy, since I promised that I wouldn't tell anyone. And in this fashion, we walk around town together as I divulge all the details of my disastrous life to her. Ooh, a new background. Fancy as shit. When I'm done with my complaints, we reach what happens to be our destination. On the main avenue, you can find a shopping mall with a few random stores, like a supermarket, restaurants, and even a movie theater. It's nothing special, but we don't have anywhere else to go to this small town. Now that I think about it, I used to go to the underground arcade a lot. I wonder if it's still there. Claire was surprisingly attentive and quiet all the way there. She had this mature demeanor that contrasted her previous behavior. It made me wonder if she had swapped places with a twin I wasn't aware of or something. But all of my doubts were dispelled the next time she opens her mouth. I only listened for half of what you said because it was so boring, Siren. Learn to summarize. Next time, try to fit into 140 characters or less. You could at least pretend that you're interested. I don't know why I even bother. I forgot that you don't have that thing called common sense. I didn't stop listening because it was uninteresting. It was because the answer to your worries is so simple that it's hilarious. What? Do you have a solution? I would love to hear it, since I don't even know what triggered those emails in the first place, you know. I mean, you usually piss someone off, and that's how you make enemies, but this time, of course I thought it was all some kind of prank. But now I'm not so sure whether... Hey, listen. What are you doing? Ignoring my complaints, Claire fixates her attention on the store display window. Clothes, shoes, and all kinds of other feminine accessories are displayed. It's truly a template for fashion trend followers. Big corporations win once again when it comes to catching people's attentions. Good job, designers, for making my words fall on deaf ears. This is the last time I try to reason with Claire, and also the last time I try to defend a cute pair of shoes. Defeat a cute pair of shoes. If you're so interested in this store, why don't you go in? It's not like I was saying anything important. Claire staggers a little, biting her lip before replying to my subtle insistence. It's not like I'm that interested, it's just that I usually come alone, and it's different. Claire gently falls to her knees as she speaks. It's almost as though she's dying from sadness. It shouldn't spoil her after what she did, but I'm not the kind of person who gets angry over this kind of thing. It's easier to let it go. Everyone is happier that way. We can go inside if you'd like. I'm not embarrassed to go with you, if that's what you're worried about. In the end, I'm pretty sure the only things that'll fit if your kids are in the kids department. I was kidding. Don't be like that. Claire starts punching the floor as she turns her face away from me. Don't tell me that I was right. Boo. She crawls away, now appearing to be completely lifeless. Did I hit a nerve? Haha, your clothes really are from the kids section. At your age? Alright, you guys, so I think I'm going to end it here just because I'm getting tired. My voice is starting to go away, as usual. And I got some chores and some packing to do, so I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys!